It's Hanging with Gemini, May 2020. It's not funny. It's time to get it on. Checking the stream. Looks good. Looks good. Man, I've been busy. I've been doing a lot of things. Getting this live stream kind of more dialed in. Got some new tunes. All this music that I'm playing right now is my own music. It's a way for me to share what I do and what I love. I love astrology. I love tarot. I love gaming. If you could see the Overwatch hat. Los Angeles Valiant. And I'm not a crazy gamer, but I love playing Overwatch. And that's usually what I'm doing if I'm not streaming. So, anywho, Gemini, this is our new format. We've gone to live stream on Twitch. And then what we do is we take the Hangin' With series and then we post them to YouTube. So make sure you follow here on Twitch. But also go to YouTube, because not only do I do the individual Astro-Tarot readings for the month, but I also do original content on different spiritual topics, and I always try to make it fun and have a good time and make sure it's spirited, hopefully, in some way or another. So anyway, hope everything's going good. Hey, Honeybee came back, yay! Well, Honeybee, guess what? It's your lucky day. As you know, it's Gemini, and I think you're a Gemini, if I remember correctly. Is that correct, honey? Oh, this is awesome to have a Gemini in. Okay, cool. Excellent. Well, thanks for joining me. Just kind of getting the whole new format going here. I got some new cameras coming, or I got some new cameras, but I'm waiting for certain gear to show up and stuff like that. So we're going to be going to a whole other level with some really cool cinema cameras and really creating a cool look. So anyway, how is everyone doing? Things have been a little wacky. We're moving into Gemini season, and yep, there we are. We're moving to Gemini season here soon, and so we got a lot of new energy moving around, and we have a bunch of astrology coming up. So what we'll do in the show, what we usually do, is just catch up a little bit, and then we'll get into the astrology highlights for the month of May, and then from there we will get into some tarot. But before we do that, let's flip over to our tarot split screen. I've been working on this. Hopefully it's looking good. Oh, working at the grocery store. Oh my gosh, you're an angel. Oh my gosh. Well, I'll tell you what, if you need to take a break, you need your rest, this video is going right back up. And you can hit me up anytime for a reading. I'm happy to give you one for free of charge. Thank you for doing what you're doing, and stay safe and hang in there. But if you want to hang out as long as you want. But like I said, hit me up anytime. I got you. You're here to have some fun. What I was going to do is just burn a little incense here. And I grew up with the Nag Champa. My mom was always burning this stuff. Get a little vibe going here. Pull it out. Put this puppy back here. Alright, get a little vibe going here. Alright, anyway, so let's get into the kind of the astro weather for the month here. Let's kick into the astro split screen view. And what we're looking at here is, let me turn my volume down just a little bit here. I mean, I love hearing my own music, but it's a little loud. Let's see. Yes, it is the Rider deck. And then this is the standard Rider deck here. Let's see. Let's go to the tarot. So this is the standard Rider deck here. I have on the right side. And all these decks just have different energy. They're kind of the same. And then this is, I actually forgot the name of this one, but it's the Rider deck. And then what they did is, you can see the difference here. It's like a borderless version, and it has a little more of like a kind of faded or kind of earthy tone to it. And then it also has, so I don't know if you can kind of see the difference here. See, it's kind of a little earthier, and this is like, has the borders, this is borderless, that kind of stuff. I don't know, I like the vibes for both of these. These are a little more springy and bouncy. When I'm feeling energetic, I like to play with these. These are more kind of grounded and kind of nurturing. And then over here on the right side, I've got a deck of Edgar Cayce cards. I don't know if you know who Edgar Cayce is, but he was the Sleeping Prophet. So I usually pull into those for inspiration too. So on that note, let's go ahead and pull a card for Gemini for the month of May. And this will just give us a general tone for the duration of the reading here. And this is called Hangin With. So I try to keep the pacing going here, but hopefully you don't get too bored. But so, you know, it's kind of a little bit of a hang time. Get the standard. Yeah, I don't know. I've gone through a couple decks, and the Rider deck just, you know, I'm a very visual person. I'm a graphic designer. I've been a graphic designer for like 20 years, so I'm a very visual person, and you know, the regular Rider deck, just when you learn from that deck, it has so much symbolism that you're used to seeing, and then you see, say, something like like a pomegranate, and you know it means fertility, or if you see stars, or you know these different symbols, or a little bird, or something like that, you remember something about that's important. And so I've stuck with the Rider deck the whole time. So Honeybee, why don't you pick 1, 2, or 3, and we'll go ahead and pull the card. Your inspiration for... Here, I'll get this on the camera a little bit better. This will be your inspiration. So pick a number, 1, 2, or 3, and then we'll go through and we'll read your inspiration for Gemini. Anyway, these are great. Edgar Casey's The Sleeping Prophet, and basically a trance channel, or I guess it was his higher self that he was communicating with, not necessarily a trance channel. But he always had a lot of good messages for general humanity and the goodness of people. Okay. All right. Well, I'm going to go ahead and let's just go for the standard. Let's go right through let's go to the middle one here. All right. So, Gemini, month of May. Let's check out the vibe. All right. So let's see if I can hold this up in the camera. Everything's backwards on my view. And it says that the soul of each should be a companion of the creative forces is the purpose of each entity, each soul. That the soul of each should be a companion of the creative forces is the purpose of each entity, each soul. And that's really interesting because Edgar Casey, and I do a lot of work, or a lot of research on the Kevin Ryerson material, who's similar to Edgar Casey. And you know, what they talked about was a lot of human origin stories, and they talk about how each of us as souls, our purpose was to be co-creators within creation initially, and then we just kind of got a little off path along the way somehow or another. Not going to get into that, but anyway, the creative forces being the masculine and feminine forces, and understanding what those are and how that relates to not just gender, but to all of life. Everything that we do, we have a masculine and a feminine presence in everything that we do. So let's see, let's go back here. And so, you know, really getting used, or an understanding of the creative polarities of things is really important, because basically in every moment in our life we have a choice of a handful of different things that we can choose. And you know, creativity is not just artwork. It's not just you know, kind of the common view of what creativity is. It's a lifestyle. It's a way of looking at things and taking the time to consider your options before you do things in everything that you do. And that masculine and feminine polarity is the masculine is initiatory, the idea, the inspiration, and the feminine energy nurtures that and brings that to fruition. So the responsibility of masculine energy, which we all have, is that our intentions are clear, because we're putting a lot of responsibility on the feminine aspect to develop and grow something. So it's good to be mindful about those things. Anyway, so that's our inspiration for the day. Let's be creative, let's connect, and what we're going to do is got a lot of cards later in here. Let's go over the astrology for the month of May, is what we can do. So let's go to our Astro split screen view. And what we have, this is a view of the planets come May 1st, 2020. And there's a lot going on for Gemini this month. We're obviously moving into Gemini season, but there's also, obviously a full moon and a new moon. And the new moon's always in the sign that we're in, so we're going to have a new moon in Gemini midway through the month. And but coming in on May 1st, we have a Mercury conjunct Uranus and Taurus, and Mercury is the planet of communication and the intellect, and conjunct Uranus and Taurus, that means it's in direct connection with a really powerful transit that's going to be affecting us from 2018 to 2026, which is Uranus in the sign of Taurus. The last time Uranus was in the sign of Taurus was from 1934 to 1942, and I don't know if anyone really quote-unquote remembers that per se personally, but historically that was when we had the Great Depression, it's when we had World War II, and it's when we had a lot of natural disasters, lots of power plays, lots of intense transformation. So when Taurus first started kind of flirting with, Uranus first started flirting going into Taurus in 2018, I think it was around springtime, we got a little taste of it because we saw the volcanoes in Hawaii starting to kind of spew out lava. Everything Taurus is going to be revolutionized and radicalized in really fast and quick ways. Uranus comes into the room and it clears off the table with the cricket bat, so to say. So with Mercury being there at the beginning of the month, it just means that we're going to be talking about these issues. I would imagine, since this virus thing's probably connected with Uranus and Taurus as far as the energetics behind it, maybe it's communicating, there's more open communication and intellectual processing around some of these lessons and themes that are coming from this transit. If you want to learn more about the transit, look up Uranus in Taurus online, and you can learn a lot more about it. But if you have any Taurus in your chart at all, that's going to affect you personally on a really big level, and it's good to know what house it's transiting for you personally to see what's going to be revolutionized in your life. But typically it's all things Taurus, so that's the earth, that's finances, it's love, it's beauty, anything that Taurus connects with. So anyway, so that's May 1st, that's the very beginning of the month, and then 3 days later on May 4th, we have Sun conjunct Mercury in Taurus, and that's May the 4th be with you day. So that's Star Wars Day, May 4th, and everything's kind of grounded. Nothing's really going to be lifted that day. The ships are grounded, so to say. I was being playful with words with Star Wars terminology, but it's going to be more of a grounded day with the sun illuminating Mercury in Taurus. The way we communicate and think is more beautiful, articulate, and grounded is the message for May 4th. So it's a nice day to connect with somebody, to share ideas, and to maybe warm our hearts a little bit. We've been in isolation, but it's a great time to reach out and connect with somebody else. Then we have the big moon on May 7th. That's the full moon in Scorpio. And we also have the sun in Taurus opposite the moon in Scorpio on May 7th. And this moon's about becoming aware of your deepest needs, your deepest desires, and any areas that you're having a hard time fulfilling these deeper needs, working through guilt, working through limitations, our own views on why we should or shouldn't have certain needs met. It's a good day to kind of look at maybe some areas where we've shortchanged ourselves in getting our needs met, and realizing that feeling good isn't a bad thing, that we're not a bad person for feeling good, and we might have some needs that need to be met. And especially with everyone being kind of on lockdown here, is how are we going to get these needs met? How do we connect with the world? How do we stay positive and energetic and fulfilled in spite of a lot of fear and negativity and kind of a humorless society, so to say. A lack of spirit, I guess I would say. I'm really big on spirit. I'm big on spirited. So I don't think spirit's just something that you use as a terminology in spirituality. This is something that you live. It's something that is a part of who you are. It's your creativity. It's the way that you engage with someone. It's the way that you eat. It's the way that you do things. It's not that things are good or bad per se. It's how we do things, and if we do things in balance. Are we on the computer too much? Are we not connecting with other people? Are we being too mental and not enough physical? Are we too physical and not taking the time to really see things clearly? And that same with the same with our emotions and things like that. So anyway, May 7th, that's the full moon, and then we have a couple retrogrades this month that are ramping up. And anytime we have retrogrades, that's a time where the theme of that particular planet is a time of introspection and not outward action. So anyway, so that's 4 days later on May 11th. May 11th, we have Saturn in retrograde, transiting backwards or creeping backwards from the sign of Aquarius into the sign of Capricorn, all the way up until September 29th. So this will be a summer, basically for the theme through summer will be Saturn in retrograde, and we also have another retrograde coming up I'll talk about in a second. With this particular retrograde on May 11th, it's a good time to evaluate your friendships, to see what friendships are that you're really connecting with, and friendships that aren't really necessarily serving you anymore. Maybe a time to start letting go of some of those things, especially as we move towards eclipse season at the end of the summer. Let's see. So just look out for friendships that have expired, so to say, and be kind and move on. Just GTFO. Let's see here. What we can do is let's update this chart just for fun as I talk about these, right? So that's May 1st, and then I'm going to start talking about, let's see, what are we going to go into next? Oh, May 13th is a big one, so let's get May 13th on there. And let's just go ahead and change the date here. Edit chart data. I love this software. You can do anything. You can see any day, any sign, anything. And the chart data is the 13th, May 13th. Okay, so on May 13th we have Mars entering Pisces. Let's see, where's Mars entering Pisces? Yeah, I don't have a pointer. I wish I had a little pointer. I could point at the screen. I should get one of those. I'll figure it out. Anyway, Mars is entering Pisces there somewhere. There it is at 0 degrees on the left-hand side underneath the moon there. We have two things going on at the same time on May 13th. We have Mars entering Pisces, and we have Venus retrograde in your sign of Gemini. And Gemini this is your month. There's a lot. It's good to be aware of what's happening when Venus goes retrograde in your sign. It's time to be really aware. But first, let's talk about Mars entering Pisces, May 13th. Mars in Pisces, it's kind of like, you ever just meet someone, or a blind date, or you just meet someone and it just kind of just fizzles out. It just doesn't feel like it's like, this isn't for me kind of thing. Well, Mars and Pisces are so different. Mars being fire, Pisces being water. And I think Pisces just kind of puts Mars's fire out. So it's not a very active position for Mars. You kind of just don't know what you're doing. It just feels kind of So, and then with this Venus retrograde the same day on May 13th, I got two computers here. I was going to find where my other computer stuff's going on here. Let's see here. So Venus is going to be retrograde in Gemini until June 25th. And Venus in retrograde is a really interesting one. To me, it's a very powerful thing, because what happens is we get activated by Venus, but it's going backwards. So it's a time of inner reflection about all things Venus, love, beauty, anything that has to do with those aspects of your life, and allowing beauty to be a part of you is going to be reflected upon. Well, since it's in your sign to begin with, it means that you're going to be extra extra sexy, you're extra appealing. Your energies, you're really going to come to life. It's not only birthday season, but Venus is in your sign. So Geminis are really going to excel here. There's going to be a lot of chitty chat, a lot of talking back and forth, all that kind of stuff. So a lot of high energy, high mental energy. But you're going to be really sexy. You're going to be feeling the vibe. People are going to be feeling you. So the trouble here is, that's great. That's fun. It's a wonderful gift. But since Venus is retrograde, that's a time for inner reflection. It's not a time to go out into the world and find a partner, or you really make big commitments in themes regarding Venus. Because what happens is that the things that you get excited about when it's in retrograde motion, when it comes out on June 25th and it goes forward again, all of a sudden you're going to lose that steam, you're going to lose that vibration, that excitement that you had about it, because you're just in a completely different energy tone now. So just be mindful of that, because you might meet someone, you might connect with someone, just maybe entertain the situation, but don't necessarily commit until after June 25th, and you really see things for what they truly are and how you're really going to feel about that in the long run. So anyway, that's again till June 25th, starting May 13th, Venus retrograde in Gemini. You don't want to really get too enmeshed with other people at this time. It's not a good time to be making commitments and spending a lot of time focusing on connecting too much with other people. And then also, be aware of the kind of the third party situation too. That's Venus retrograde. I don't even know what's going on. I don't even want to know what's going on. You know what I mean? So just be mindful, be aware. Don't put yourself in a situation that you'll regret later. Okay, so Jupiter. Okay, so yeah, so here's our other bang bang. So a day later, let's go ahead and edit that chart. A day later, we have Jupiter going retrograde. So one day right after another. And apparently, I need to learn what I'm doing here. Get this moving. Okay, there we go. Edit chart data. So move it up one day to May 14th, 2020. So a lot of activity, kind of grouped in a certain area. Obviously, where it's grouped will change based on your particular rising sign. So I'm not going to make any predictions by house per se, but we've got a stellium and a real gang up, at least in the first house here, all these planets together. We've got Pluto, Jupiter, Saturn, Mars, and the Moon all blasting. And that's when Jupiter's going retrograde, and it's going right across the ascendant, at least on this chart. So, Jupiter retrograde. So we've got Venus retrograde to be aware of. Now we got Jupiter retrograde in the sign of Capricorn, which is the authority, the master worker, the anything to do with career, anything to do with authority. And again, Jupiter, it's a similar theme in that Jupiter has this really beautiful energy. It's expansive, much like Venus. It's very beautiful, very fun. It's very alluring. So, but again, with a retrograde energy, it's a time for inner reflection, not outward action. So Jupiter's going to expand your energy. You're going to be ready to go and want to make big plans and do big things. And again, you're not going to want to make commitments during this time period, because anything that you want to expand, as soon as it ends on the 13th of September, you're going to want to contract. You're not going to be feeling it. So this is a really important time for you, Gemini, because you have two retrogrades that are very provocative, very alluring, very seductive, I guess is what I'm really trying to say. Two very seductive retrogrades. And have fun all you want, but just know that come the end of the summer, you may feel a lot different. So just be mindful of that, Gemini. It's really affecting you personally in a big way. So, and I always take little notes on this. So the analogy I had here with Jupiter was, have you ever seen, it's kind of a cliche, I guess, but you're in the bathing suit and the wave comes and crashes on you, and the top comes off or the bottoms fall off and you're embarrassed, right? So it's kind of the way I see Jupiter this summer is Jupiter kind of exposing you. It's hitting you and exposing the truth of who you really are in regards to yourself and your self-image at work and work and career. So it's a really good time to evaluate every situation with a magnifying glass and take some personal time to reflect on areas you can grow professionally. So basically, you're going to have this high energy, and Jupiter's almost going to kind of coax out these behavior patterns and things within the work environment that maybe need some transformation and some growth. So during this time period, I guess really the message for you this month is curb your enthusiasm. You don't want to get too wrapped up in too many temptations, so to say. Check yourself at work, meditate before you go to work. Ask yourself, like, hey, where's some areas I can really make some improvement? You may rub someone the wrong way. You don't want to gloat. You don't want the ego tripping. You don't want to be, too out of it here. So just be mindful about what you're doing here. That's Jupiter in retrograde in Capricorn. Just don't be too overly confident in anything, because, again, you're going to feel different later on. Okay, let's see here. May 20th. Got a little bit more here. We're just hanging, right? Is this good? Is this format too long? Am I driving you guys crazy? Let me know in chat or send me a text. But generally, I like to lay in bed and just watch videos. For the longer, the better, in my opinion. So I just like to hang out. So if you're cool hanging out, I'm cool with this too. I can always go shorter format if that's what you guys would like. Let's see here. May 20th. Sun enters your sign of Gemini. Happy birthday, Gemini. You guys are the fun. You and Sagittarius and Leos, the fun signs. The energy is going to change. All the things that you're familiar with. You're familiar with your energy. You're familiar with being a Gemini. It's all about having a good time, right? Talking, sharing ideas, feeling great one day and different the next, but it's all good, man. That's what makes you beautiful, man. That's how you shine. You got to recharge that beauty that you are, Gemini. So happy birthday. It's May 20th. Sun enters Gemini. May 22nd, 2 days later, your new moon hits in your sign. And also the sun is conjuncting the moon in Gemini at the same time, which makes sense because it's a new moon. The sun and the moon are on top of each other. So the energy here, it's just kind of like it's time to switch things up. It's time to mix things up. Things have kind of been the same for a while. It's a whole new you. Give the norm the breaks and dive into something mentally stimulating. So that's your message for your new moon. And I'm not going to dare say it's a super moon, because apparently somebody started saying that, like, I don't know, was it eight years ago or something? Now everything's a super moon. A super moon. Super wolf blood moon. Super coyote koala gigante moon. Luna de loco. I don't know, man. I don't get it. I mean, I just figure a full moon is a super moon to begin with, right? It's full. It doesn't get any fuller, does it? I don't know. Maybe I have to check on that. I mean, they say it gets closer. I mean, is the moon just keep getting closer and closer? Are we going to be like, somebody turn off the lights? I don't know. You tell me. Anyway, last highlight of the month, May 28th, Mercury enters the sign of Cancer. Mercury is the planet of communication. Cancer is the nurturer. The way we communicate is going to be more nurturing and kind and loving and looking out for the best of others. It's a great time to have a heart-to-heart with someone. Mercury entering Cancer. Your memories improved and your emotions guide your mental processes. So anyway, that's the Astro-Tarot for May 2020. May 2020. Yeah, I've been having fun with this live stream stuff. This is my third one I've done, and it's also kept me from going crazy because I guess everyone's sitting at home. But I don't know. I was at home for the last 3 years, so I don't know what I was tripping about. Make your own food, kick back, be creative. Turn off the news, bro. It's bugging me out. Let's see, Gemini. I hope you guys are doing good. I hope you're not tripping out. I hope you're not getting too intensified by everything. It doesn't, just remember this, you know, that we're eternal. Our souls are eternal. We don't need to worry. Everything's gonna be okay. We don't need a lot to live. We don't need a lot to survive. So those out there, if you guys are facing these sorts of limitations or challenges, just keep in mind, just keep meditating, keep listening to those guided meditations. Simply focus on your breath and your solar plexus, release that tension, release that knot, get into the true reality, which is the peace and the relaxation. What do you think about those beats? Oh yeah, here we go. I want to do it like this. So I'm playing the drum. That's not working. Anyway, I made that song. I make all the music I play on my channel. Because I love making music. It's kind of weird music, but I don't know if I really found my audience, but I enjoy it. Anyway, that was me playing the drum. Oh man, yeah, kind of lacking on the decorations, I guess, but I'm learning. I got some lights coming. I got all sorts of stuff coming. I got new cameras. I just picked up a new camera. This is just my webcam right now and an iPhone for the Tarot, but starting, gosh, once things start shipping and stuff, I got a few accessories and stuff. But starting May, this next month up here, I'm going to be streaming a lot more on even more of a quality setup. So thanks for joining me. I really appreciate it. Let's get into Tarot. And remember, our message from our Edgar Casey deck was about aligning the energy with the creative forces, that we ourselves are those creative forces individuated, and that we don't need to sit around and give away our power to crappy people that could give a shark about us. So on that note, let's shuffle some cards. I don't know if the cards are loud. Are the cards loud when I shuffle them when we're live? I don't know. If they are, let me know. I can make some adjustments or not shuffle right under the mic. Yeah, it's an interesting time. You know, there's we're facing a lot of you know, facing ourselves, I think, is really what it's about, and simultaneously kind of looking at the truth of the situation of this reality we've created over the last so many years, last so many decades, and recognizing it's not working, that there's been too many grabbers, you know, too many people taking. We're learning how to get gentle again and learn how to communicate with each other, not hate each other. So, you know, it seems a little strange right now, but just hang in there, because, you know, the process is, you know, I mean, we still have the most high behind all this stuff, so who knows where this is going to go, but we got to have faith. You know, I'm a gamer too. I see other Twitch streams. I see people angry, man, bitter, just people always trying to steal power from each other. And it's okay to have fun. It's okay to be competitive. It's okay to live life, but man, you don't want to live with the price of some of that behavior, and it's just, yeah. Ugh. So when we remember that we are love, and that's what we need to survive and to be truly healthy, and that's what others need to survive to be truly healthy, once we look at the truth of the reality we're in, we come to recognize that things maybe sometimes aren't as wonderful and glamorous as we thought, or beautiful as we thought, and that there's areas to make improvement. So this is why I'm doing this, is I came to that conclusion on my own through my own struggles. And I've been doing brand development for a long time. And I just wanted to pursue something that meant something to me from the bottom of my heart. So I just do this for free. And I love doing readings, or anybody wants a reading sometime. Happy to give one for free. If you have a donation, whatever, that's cool too. That always helps. I'm committed to helping. So if you need me, girl, give me a call, yeah. It's another song I made. I made all the songs. This is about I've been looking for my spirit. I can't sing, but that's why we have computers, kids. Alright, Gemini 2020. 2020. Gemini, May 2020. Here's your Astro-Tarot. We did the Astro. Now let's do the T. We did the A, let's do the T. We did the A and the T. The T and the A. Yeah. Street Level Spirituality. Where does the name come from? Street Level Spirituality is based on the idea that religion has been taken over by the power structure, and that spirituality is a little bit fluffy, and in between there's this really cool thing called truth, right? And having the willingness to not personify our lives so we can look at our own shit, right? So when everything's personal, when there's something at stake, we put up this wall and we're not able to kind of look at who we are and what we're doing on this planet. And you know, a lot of people are very intellectual, they think a lot, right? And I really feel like we've really lost touch with the somatic process, or our bodies. Our bodies tell us how we feel and what we need. And I'm generally concerned about information and people getting hooked up on the hype machine, so to say. So people living in fear, and what happens is we are creators. It's like the card for the month for Gemini. We are creators. We're broadcasting. Just like I'm streaming right now, our mind is streaming 24 hours a day. And, you know, if we're streaming fear, that's a certain type of feeling, right? It's a certain type of spirit, right? When I do these streams, when I'm living my life, I try to have a certain kind of spirit about it, which is a presence of concern, support, and love for someone, while at the same time having fun and enjoying ourselves, but also never at the cost of what's appropriate, or what we can best determine is appropriate. So it's like, have the wisdom, but part of that wisdom is having the spirit. So, you know, yeah, we're facing a lot of heavy stuff in the world, but if you're focusing on what's happening 1,500 miles away at the cost of your own well-being right here and right now, and you don't have your shit together, you're a fool. So it's time to take the reins of your own minds. It's time to take the reins of our reality, because things are screwed up out there, and someone's really got to do something about it. So, and I'm not going to focus on that stuff, but wisdom is sad sometimes. It's sad to see the truth of things. But we do it so we can integrate that into our lives, knowing that we can get through it. And when we know that, we don't lose faith. It gives us power to have the courage to keep moving forward. So I just want to say, because I'm just getting really intense about this energy right now, is don't be broadcasting that shit. Don't be broadcasting that garbage. Don't get wrapped up in that garbage. That shit's feeding someone. That energy goes somewhere. When you're tired, that energy goes somewhere. And I ain't going to get into that. But don't fuck around. Take care of yourself. Alright, Gemini, we got your cards. And just want to give it a little more mixeroo. And let's get over to our split screen view. I guess this was split screen view. What I did is I put myself in the corner and I made the view a lot wider. See the shuffling? That's kind of cool. Just put this red velvet up. I thought that was kind of nice. What do you guys think about the red velvet? Anyway, thanks for hanging out. Gemini, I'm not going to let you down. I'm going to be a positive part of your life when you need it, if you need it. You can ask me questions. You can come on the stream anytime. You can watch videos on YouTube. Please follow and subscribe. And just, you know, if you're feeling it, let me know. It always feels good to know if what I'm doing is helping, or if I'm connecting with people, or if there's areas of improvement that I can make. Just let me know. But just trying to be me, trying to be free. All right, Gemini. So here we go. Let's do 3 decks. Okay, how do we do this? 1, 2, 3, and then let's just pull it right back. 1, 2, 3. All right, let's kick this mofo out. All right, the Empress, beautiful. What a great way to start the cards. I made the screen bigger so we could see more, and from what it looks like you can see it. Looks good on the stream. Yeah, looks good. All right, whoa, Gemini, off to a bang bang start here. So let's go over here, I think. And what's influencing your reading is the sun. So let's go ahead and put away some of this astro stuff I got going on here. Okay, so with let's get the rest of the cards out here. So that's, in my readings, that's the spiritual realms or the angelic realms. It's your divine message coming to you. This one goes a little closer. Let's see if can we still see the cards? Yeah, I can still see the cards. So we have the Empress is the main theme. We have the sun crossing it as what's influencing it, which is really beautiful. The Empress is all about fertility and femininity, and beauty, abundance. Look at her, she's just kicking back, just chilling. This is such a great and appropriate reading for you. And it actually reflects the astrology in a funny way, because with both Venus being in your chart, being in your sign, making you feel more attractive and beautiful to other people. This is you. This is you with Venus in your sign, and your birthday, right? You got your birthday, and then we have Jupiter coming in, expanding you, and the sun's getting bigger, and the sun's getting bigger, and the sun's getting bigger, and the sun's getting bigger. So you know, that's a lot of positive energy here. But let's see where this reading goes. Let's see if it's we got Justice. We have the Page of Cups in reverse. Towards the sorry, what is that? That's what you just went through. So it looks like there may have been something planned, something promised, some kind of letdown. Something didn't come to fruition though you wanted to. Let's see, we got the Queen of Swords in reverse in your subconscious realms. So there's something going on in your mental realms, and you know, Gemini is all about the mind and the mental. So with the Queen of Swords, what we're looking at is something. There's something subconscious. There's basically, or if you don't mind me saying it, your inner bitch is popping off. So just there's something coming up from its past life. It's subconscious. It's something from some other realms within you. And so you might need, it could be as extreme as a purification. You could do a rue bath. You could take the plant rue and just pick a twig of it, put it in your bathtub, put some black tourmaline on. There's some inner, you know, or it could just be a personality thing that you're working through. This is wonderful. You're at the end of some sort of mental anguish. How's everything showing up here? I guess it's kind of showing up. Yeah, that's working, huh? This is your attitude in this situation, the Queen of Wands. And this is a woman who's very in touch with, or a feminine aspect to who you are. We all have the feminine and masculine within ourselves. A feminine aspect, or it could be a person, of who we are that is very grounded, very aware of her vitality, where she pulls her creative resources from. So confidence is not a problem for you this next month in May. And so far, I don't really see all that much, in the form of difficulty. I see a lot of opportunity. Your environment, wow. I mean, did you shuffle these cards? I did a couple. I did Aries and Taurus, and there's a little more work there. So in your environment, you have the world. So the world's at your fingertips. Every possibility is there for you. Your greatest hopes and fears is the Hermit. So I would say that based on what we're going through right now, the Hermit being staying at home. I mean, this is what we're going through. So your greatest hopes and fears being a sense of isolation or not being able to really connect with other people. So here we have the world, and then we have not being able to connect. So, but again, this is hopes and fears. This is not necessarily based in reality. So, and for the outcome card, we have this Seven of Wands in reverse. And in the suit of Wands, the Seven of Wands in reverse is about kind of letting something go, protecting something, or being overly protective about something. So, I to be honest with you, I see a lot of beautiful opportunity for you this month. Again, it's your birthday and all that stuff. You might be feeling like, oh no, I can't have a birthday party. I can't see people. There's some sort of limitation. But this Empress card, to begin with, is just a really beautiful card. So, this is a time to kind of shine and really get back in touch with yourself. Maybe you haven't had a haircut. Maybe you go out and get spruced up. Maybe you order some new clothes. This time of the year around your birthday is always a good time to refresh your image. But you're just full of abundance and beauty. And especially with this, there's something new, there's some great brand new opportunity coming up. And, as far as the outcome is, whatever this is here, there's a lot of opportunity and abundance. It's really interesting to me. It's almost parallel. It's so parallel to your astrology right now. But just watch your attitude, your energy. There might be this kind of portion of this kind of bitchy kind of aspect of yourself coming up at times. But you're really getting out of a rut from the past. You're overcoming a lot of mental energies. You've got a great attitude in the situation. You have a great environment. Don't let your fears get the best of you, and just don't be too overly protective about whatever it is that you're holding dear. And especially, like I said, with the astrology, you are going to be very expansive and have a lot of opportunities come. A lot of opportunities come with Venus in your sign and Jupiter there going retrograde. So, this is kind of saying, like, I think just don't hold on to something or don't protect something too much that might change. But I mean, I would say that so far you're definitely been the most fortunate within the different signs here. For your reading, stay focused on the Empress's energy. Oh, something I didn't mention is in the spiritual realms is justice. This is great. So this is your super conscious message. And the card of justice is obviously justice, but it's fairness, it's truth. And I think the spiritual and the subconscious realms tend to kind of parallel each other. They tend to be kind of the devil and the angel, so to say. So, focus on being fair and just in your decision making and how you're moving forward, and not succumb to just kind of lazy emotional responses that can be harmful or anything like that. So anyway, Gemini, you're doing good. You have all the opportunities to enjoy yourself this next month, and it's a great time to connect and really redefine how you're connecting with people. Who knows what kind of limitations we face, but it looks like things may be clearing up next month, or at least to a certain degree. So anyway, hang in there, and just be mindful. Don't get too stuck on something that may change. That's really your message for the month. So anyway, Gemini, sending lots of love. and wishing you a wonderful May 2020, and I'll see you next month. All right. Also, obviously, if you can, on Facebook, you can look up Street Level Spirituality. We do a different format there. We do a lot of writings there on different subject matter, spirituality, life, blah, 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 interesting reads and content there. And then YouTube, same thing. We do upload these videos, the Hanging With series on YouTube. But again, there's other original content, more kind of quick and digestible content, and then also more produced informational type content. I really appreciate it. If you could follow me on Twitch also, that'd be awesome. I think I did it. I don't know. I really don't care all that much, but it's nice to connect. And if you want to keep connecting, then hook it up. All right, guys, have a great month. All right, take care. Bye.